everybody, Don Murray here with your TVN Severe Weather Recap. We're going to be recapping Thursday, May 28th, 2015. Another active severe weather day, especially here across parts of the southern plains and extending further to the north across parts of the central plains. And that activity continued further to the northeast across parts of the high plains in the upper Midwest. Moving further to the east, we had some activity here across parts of New England, where we had some damaging wind reports here extending from parts of Maine down through parts of Massachusetts. Now, there was one report here across parts of central Maine that I thought was rather interesting. Let's see if we can pull that up here. This was a dock that was ripped out. Winds were so strong it actually ripped a dock out. So definitely some severe wind gusts up here, but mainly trees and power line issues. You can also see some of the other scattered hail detections here across the parts of the state of Maine. Moving further to the south across parts of New England, we had some wind damage reports here across parts of Massachusetts. Across the Boston area, we had some wind damage reports here, mainly on the north side of the city. And then we moved further to the west. It looks like we had a nice little hailstorm here that moved here across parts of New Hampshire and Vermont. Looks like it crossed right on the line there. We had a spot report here of 1 inch in diameter here in parts of Vermont, southeast Vermont, and then that hailstorm continued in the parts of southwestern New Hampshire. Extending the view back out here, we can take a look at some of the other scatter reports here across parts of the east. One other area to note here was across parts of southeastern New York, where we had some larger hail detections here. Southeastern New York extending into parts of southwestern Connecticut here. We had 1 inch diameter hail reports here. And then we had some wind damage reports here around Danbury as well, and also just to the south of Danbury, some other wind damage reports. Trees and power lines was the main damage with the wind there. Moving further to the south along the mid-Atlantic, again, some other scattered hail reports here from New Jersey extending down through parts of Virginia. Okay, taking a look further to the south here, we're going to move across parts of the southeast. We had some isolated wind damage reports here across parts of the Piedmont. Let's actually zoom in here to parts of South Carolina, just north of Spartanburg. We had some wind damage reports here. And then another isolated storm to note here was in parts of North Georgia. And let's actually zoom in here to the North Georgia, the Calhoun area. This is where we had a rather sizable hailstorm. We also had some wind damage reports here. You can see here we have a 2 inch hail detection and then a damaging wind report just north of Calhoun. One thing I want to talk about with Georgia, Georgia is actually in our storm damage research area where we've partnered with contractors and storm restoration professionals. And so if you were in Calhoun or you know anybody in North Georgia that has been affected by a severe storm over the past year, go ahead and give our contracting partner a call at Christ Roofing. They're also working with us and developing our research, and we're learning how hailstorms and windstorms and any other severe weather element impacts building materials. So Christ Roofing is going to be one of those partners that help us in improving building materials. So if you're in Calhoun, North Georgia, go ahead and give Christ Roofing a call and you get a free inspection, and then they relay us back the information if you receive damage, and we can relate it with this storm. Helps us overall with the research aspect of it. Okay, let's go ahead and move back out and zoom out and take a look at the rest of the country as we had some more severe weather across parts of the southern plains. You can take a look here. Again, Texas was another hot spot right here just west of Dallas. However, Dallas overnight really got clocked. This was, you see all the hail just west of Dallas, but that squall line continued into the early morning hours through the metro area. And actually, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the flooding reports here. You can see some of these images here coming out of the Dallas area this morning. You can see some of these cars just submerged in the water. Again, the area has been very saturated. It didn't really take that much rain to cause flash flooding already because the soils were extremely saturated. But when you get 4 to 7 inches of rain normally anyway in that short amount of time, it's going to cause significant issues. But we've already had so much rain here in Dallas. Dallas now is the wettest month on record for the month of May here across parts of the southern plains. And that is true for many of these cities here across parts of these southern plains. See some of these tornado reports here across parts of the southern plains, parts of West Texas, and then here moving into parts of western Kansas. We had some tornado reports here, mainly brief tornadoes. We can zoom in and take a look at parts of western Kansas. See some of these tornado reports here. Let's click on one of these. We had a storm chaser report a likely rain-wrapped tornado, and some of these other reports here. Very brief tornado. That was kind of the theme yesterday. It was very brief tornadoes occurring yesterday across parts of the plains. Didn't really see anything too violent. Didn't see a lot of tornado damage yesterday at all. Zoom back in here a little bit more, getting used to this handy device here to control the map. So you can see here there was some other scattered activity across parts of the Intermountain West. Some larger hail detections here in Utah and in parts of Idaho, where we had mainly between 3/4 and 1 inch. And then also again some scattered hail detections up here across parts of Washington and northern Idaho, where we had between 3/4 and 1 inch hail. So that was your severe weather recap for your Thursday. Definitely another active severe weather day. Some more activity going on today again across parts of these southern plains here. Maybe some nice supercells developing in New Mexico and then stretching into parts of Texas. So watch out for those TVN live streamers later on this afternoon at tvnweather.com. Thanks everybody. Take care.
Don't forget to check out Storm Chasers streaming live at tvnweather.com/live. Or if you're on the go, you can watch live Storm Chasers streaming on your mobile device by downloading the TVN Weather app on your Android or iOS device.